Hello and welcome everyone. Today we are starting a new chapter which is organizing. We have 5 functions in management: planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Today we are going to learn about the second function of management, which is organizing. In this very particular video, we will talk about what is organizing, the meaning and definition of the organizing process, and then we will also talk about steps involved in the process of organizing. The basic thing that you have to understand, what I believe as organizing, is developing the skeleton of the organization. We are in business studies, which means how to do business, how businesses work. We are in the process of learning how every organization works. What are all the things that are involved in running an organization? So that means we should also understand how to develop the skeleton of an organization. We are going to build an organization. To build anything, we need a skeleton. So this organizing chapter is about, suppose tomorrow you are planning to build a business, how do you draft the skeleton? The first thing is planning. You will draw a blueprint. Let's say you are going to construct a house. If you want to construct a single bedroom apartment or a 2 BHK or a 3 BHK, or let's say you want to build a penthouse, based on your desire, you will draw the blueprint. The process of drawing the blueprint was planning. But after you draw the blueprint, what you will do, you will start drawing the foundation. You'll start making the foundation, digging for the foundation, don't you? So that is organizing. Now, I will also show you 4 images of sea transport. Let's see, this is the first image. This is a canoe, or you can also call it as a small boat. This is a canoe primarily. So take a good look at this. Let me show you the second image. This is a medium size yacht. Then let's see this slightly bigger sized passenger ship, and then finally you see a huge container ship. All 4 images are the carriers that run in water. They take people or objects from one place to another. They all run on water. Now, you can also build a canoe, or you can build a big container ship. Depending on what you want to build, you will develop the skeleton, right? Let's say if you just want to build a canoe, things are extremely simple. It's very easy to draw the skeleton for this. But let's say if you want to build a huge container ship like this, then the skeleton has to be extremely complex, isn't it? So that's the meaning of this organizing. Developing the skeleton, and based on that skeleton, you create a structure to the organization that you want to create. So let's look at the definitions now. The organizing function leads to the creation of an organizational structure, which includes the designing of roles to be filled by suitably skilled people and defining the interrelationship between those roles so that ambiguity in performance of duties can be eliminated. So I have to draw a structure of how many people I am going to employ, under which department are they going to place, who is going to supervise them, who they are going to supervise. So I have to establish the hierarchy. So for that I have to create roles in the first place. So that is what is called designing of roles. Please understand, we are not going to fill those roles. Filling the roles is staffing chapter, which means I have created a role. Let me give you some examples. Some roles: marketing manager, audit executive, logistics officer, R&D vice president. These are all roles. In organizing chapter, I just have to create the roles, design the roles, and say that vice president of R&D will report to the managing director. General manager of R&D will report to vice president of R&D. So I just define the roles, and I will also establish hierarchy. But who is going to get appointed as vice president of R&D, or who is going to get appointed as general manager, that is staffing chapter. We will see that afterwards. But right now, we are just going to design the role. Now, let's see the actual definition also. Organizing can be defined as a process that initiates implementation of plans by clarifying jobs and working relationships and effectively deploying resources for attainment of the desired objectives. I hope you understood the meaning and definition of organizing. Now let us talk about the steps in the process of organizing. The first step is identification and division of work. So depending on the size of the organization, that's why I had to give you that example of 4 different types of sea transport. Your organization is a sole proprietor, is similar to a one-person boat. If your organization is a company, it's like a private company, then it's like a passenger ship. But let's say if your organization is like Infosys, TCS level company, then it is like that huge container ship. What type of organization that you are planning to build will tell how many type of work will be there and how many roles are there and how those work will be divided into different departments. So first thing is identification and division of work. Okay, I will give you examples. I'm currently running a teaching business. It's a sole proprietor form of organization. So what are all the work that will be involved? I have to teach. I have to take care of the onboarding process of students joining, new students joining. And then I also have to monitor their attendance. And then I have to monitor their school tests review. And then I also have to collect the fee. And then I also have to handle this administrative task like, okay, today we have class at this time, today there is a rescheduling in the class. All these things are involved in running a teaching business. Now, I'm the only person who does all those things. So there is no division of work. I wanted my organization to be like a one-person boat, a small canoe. So I purposefully designed the organization like this. That's why I do all the activities by myself. I want to keep the organization simple. But tomorrow, if I have to expand this business and make it into like a 10 branch organization across Chennai, I want to establish teaching institutes, then my organization will become complex. I have to hire a lot of people. I have to create a lot of roles. Then it goes on and on. So that is identification and division of work. The first step in the process of organization involves identification and dividing the work that has to be done accordance with previously determined plans. Now, in my case, I keep things very simple, but I also have to definitely identify. Then departmentalization. As I said, if the organization is extremely small, I don't have to have different departments. In my teaching business, there are no departments. I run everything by myself. Sole proprietors will not have any departments. They do everything because they are sole proprietor. But let's say if it's a partnership form of organization, or let's say if it's a company form of organization, there will be a lot of departments that are created. Again, back to the example of my work experience in my previous job organization. We also had a lot of departments: sales department, purchase department, planning department, maintenance department, admin department, legal department. It goes on and on. Almost the company had 10 to 12 departments based on function. So what they did, they belong to that department. If you do sales work, you belonged in sales department. If you do finance work, accounting work, you belonged to finance department. Like that, the whole organization was divided into a lot of departments. So again, identifying how many departments I should create is the second process in organizing. Then third step is assignment of duties. After you create departments, you have to create roles, as I said just now, some time ago. How many roles are there? Let's say in finance department, VP finance, general manager finance, deputy general manager finance, and then you will have deputy manager finance, assistant manager, executive, senior officer, officer, junior officer, assistant. So a simple finance department will have so long hierarchy if it is a very big company. If it is a small company, let's say if it's an audit firm where I worked, I was the articled assistant, I reported to my manager, and manager directly reported to the partner. So only the hierarchy had only 3 people: the top boss, the middle level manager, and I was at the lower level of operations. And then I worked in a sole proprietor form of organization for some time while doing CA. Because I was working for sole proprietor was the boss and I was directly working under him. So there is no hierarchy at all. I was directly reporting to him. So this is assignment of duties. Based on the complexity of organization, I will create roles, and based on those roles, I will assign what each and everyone has to do. When I worked for that sole proprietor, I was actually handling a lot of wide variety of work. Because again, It was a small organization. There were no departments. I was entrusted with a lot of work. But when I worked in a company, it was heavily departmentalized. Finance, purchase, marketing, sales. And I was in audit department. My work was extremely limited to audit functions only. I did not worry about what marketing people were doing. I did not worry about how sales is happening in the company. So that is assignment of duties. And last is establishing authority and reporting relationships. I just explained this some time ago. Small organization, I was directly reporting to the top boss itself. Middle level organization, I was reporting to a manager, and then manager was reporting to the partner. Big firm of organization, I was reporting to a deputy manager was reporting to a general manager was reporting to vice president, and vice president was ultimately reporting to the managing director. So that's how the hierarchy forms in certain organization. So to wrap up this, let's say if an organization is extremely simple, this is like a sole proprietor organization, like you are the only person, no need of hierarchy. Let's say it's a mid-level firm, so you report to a manager, and manager will report to the senior partner. So it's like a medium size business. Then slightly bigger, like a private company, like 100 people, 200 people, 500 people work in this. So there will be very slight hierarchy, like 3-4 people until you reach the top manager or the top boss, which is the managing director. And then comes companies like Infosys, TVS, Reliance, all the top 50 companies that you see in the stock market. All these are like this company, big complex structure. Even if you have high qualification and get into a company like that, by the time you even get to see the managing director or even the top management people, at least 12 to 14 people will be in there in between. Let's say you clear BCom, or let's say you clear CA and join in Wipro or in TCS as a finance executive. By the time you want to meet even the CFO, there will be at least 8 to 10 people in the hierarchy. So that's how this organizing concept works. In the upcoming lectures, we will see in detail about what is functional structure, what is divisional structure, what is the importance of organization. All those things we will see. I hope this introductory session to organizing chapter was helpful to you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I will see you in the next video. Thank you and bye bye.